Empower Nation. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast. I'm your host, Angela Duncan, speaker, best-selling author, serial entrepreneur. We talk all things money and business. Today's episode, I'm running solo today. I recently just did my continuing education for my insurance license. For those of you who may not know, I had an insurance company for 5 years. I started from scratch, bought a franchise, was brand new to the insurance agency, but like most things in life, when I decide to do business, I am 1,000% in. So dove right in to the insurance agency in 2018 in the Tampa Bay area. And then we went through our first hurricane, Hurricane Irma. So learned a lot about claims, and I definitely stay on top of my continuing education for the insurance industry, primarily for residential properties and commercial properties and business liability, so that I can, give great advice here on the podcast, have some information for my own business. And then who knows, maybe in the future, perhaps I'm going to launch another insurance company, but we'll see what's in front of me. So I just wanted to give you some updates for those that perhaps don't understand the insurance agency or the insurance industry, and you keep getting your homeowner insurance renewals, your auto insurance renewals, you've had no claims, and then you just see them just double and triple over the couple of years that you've had them, and you just don't understand why. So I wanted to give you some tips as a consumer on what you can do to help keep your insurance costs lower. So the first thing that I recommend is when you get your renewal to contact your insurance agent. Make sure that they are shopping around your rate. Now, keep in mind, if you have insurance with like State Farm, for example, they have less carriers than an independent brokerage. So shopping around with more than one company can be beneficial for you to make sure that your rates are lower. And your insurance agent should be asking you when you do that renewal, have you had any updates in the past year or since your last renewal? And it's important for you to keep documentation for anything. For example, if you have a new roof, you put on AC, maybe you put in a new garage door that's hurricane rated. Make sure your insurance agent knows about all of your updates that you did so that you can take advantage of all of the discounts that might be available to you. Another thing that you might not know is just like you have a FICO score, your credit score, in the insurance world, we also have an insurance score, and it's very similar to your FICO score. The only difference for the insurance score versus like your credit card or your credit score through FICO is that the weight. Let's back it up for a second. I don't want to get too far into the weeds. So let's start with your credit score. When you have a FICO credit score, it's broken down into certain categories that help that score, right? So currently you can have a FICO credit score from 300 to 850. And the way that that is broken down, it's weighted on several things. For example, and I have my cheat sheet in front of me because they did recently update this, is that if you have your credit score, 30%, 35% now of your past payment history goes into that score. Also looks at your current level of debt. What does that mean? Well, say for example, you have a credit card and your credit line is 10,000. Well, if you're only using 1,000 of it, then that debt ratio is low. It's only 10%. But if you have a $10,000 credit card and you're close to the max, then you're utilizing most of your debt, and that will actually hurt your credit score. The other thing that it looks at is your history. How long have you had credit cards open? So if you're thinking about shutting down an older credit card that you're not using, you might want to think about holding on to it, because that credit history, how long you've had that card, also plays into your credit score. When you're applying for new credit, you can also hurt your credit score by applying by new credit cards, and it could be temporary on your credit score, but just keep that in mind as well. And then what type of credit cards, home loans, auto loans, that also plays in a factor. So the biggest thing between your regular FICO credit score and your insurance score is that payment history. The better your payment history on your insurance payments, on your insurance policies, the better your score will be. And it's based on that information. It's a little bit heavier weighted for us in the insurance agency, just because we're looking at how are you as a consumer? Are you going to pay your bills back? You're going to pay your bills back on time? Or are we going to have to come after you? So that definitely plays into your insurance score. So curious to know what percentage of the population in the US falls within certain criteria within your credit score. So I mentioned earlier that a credit score ranges from 300 to 850 points, right? only 13% of the US population falls in that 800 to 850 range. So if you feel like you're struggling to try and get to that 800, know that only 13% of the population is in that range. Now, when we look at 750 to 799, 27% falls in that category, and right below it from the 700 to 749 is 18%. So there we have 20, 40, 60, almost 60% of the population is between 7 and 850. So it's definitely somewhere you want to be. And fun fact for you as well, the higher your credit score, obviously, the better the rate that an auto loan, a home loan, insurance will offer you. And sometimes even at the 750 and above, you could be saving 50% on your rate, which is crazy. So think about that when you are looking for your insurance for your home, your auto rental, things like that. Your insurance score definitely plays into that factor. So hopefully that was a good update for you. Work on that credit score, get those credit lines paid down if you can. Don't max them out because it's definitely affecting your insurance. And here in the state of Florida, we need all the help we can get. So don't forget to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, share this with your friends, make sure that we are reaching more people so that we can help more people reach the financial freedom by giving them the right education to help them along with their goals. Thank you for listening to Empower Her Money podcast. I am grateful for you. Please make sure to leave us a 5-star review, like this podcast, share it, subscribe, and let's keep teaching others how to take control and be empowered with their finances.